What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be looking at all of the changes and additions with the big patch that we got yesterday, as well as the activation of the Shamrock Awe event. I'm just going to be kind of spitballing these out here as fast as possible, not really in any particular order, and I tried to make the list as comprehensive as possible. So first up, let's start off with some of the bigger things. Shipment 1944 has been added into CoD WW2 for Season Pass holders for now. And for those of you guys that don't know, this is a map from CoD 4 as well as Modern Warfare Remastered. It has been remastered for CoD WW2. It's an extremely small and absolutely chaotic mess of a map, which some people like, not me so much, but I know a lot of people out there are quite happy to see this return. As of right now, it is only available for Season Pass holders, but this Friday on the 16th, it will be made available for free to everyone. This is awesome to see. I really hope we see a few more reimagined maps in the future and they handle it exactly the same way. Give us Season Pass holders that first little sneak peek of the map and make us feel like we get that extra little bonus for spending that money on the Season Pass, but shortly after, make it free and available for everyone. This is the right way to do reimagined maps in Call of Duty, and I hope they follow suit with this in the future. Even going forward into Black Ops 4, if they're bringing in reimagined maps, I really hope they follow suit with this system. Now, having said that, like I said, I'm not a fan of Shipment, and I'm not really looking forward to it being added into the regular rotation, because as it is right now, it's in its own featured playlist, but I guess I can always just back out if I don't want to play it. Next up, we have a brand new menu system and a new UI for multiplayer, and this is really cool to see. You can access pretty much everything that's in the headquarters now without actually entering the headquarters, and this is something I've wanted to see since launch. As you can see here, you can access Major Howard now, you can get your contracts, although you could get your contracts beforehand, but a lot of people didn't realize you could do that. You can get your contracts here in this menu, you can get your payroll even without entering the headquarters, and even the theater, which I don't think too many people watch through the theater, but you can access the theater without going into the headquarters first. In addition to this, when we're talking about the menus, when you first enter the main menu, as you can see, it's now colorized, and overall, they've just kind of changed the look and the feel of the menu system, which is really cool. Next up, with the Shamrock Awe event, we have Leprechaun Hunt, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of already, but if you aren't, this is a mosh pit game mode, so it's got a mix of different game modes. It's in the featured tab, and within this mode, throughout the match, a leprechaun will spawn several times throughout a match, and that leprechaun is like a prop. It spawns in randomly on the map, and it like runs around. It makes noises, so you have to kind of sound horror if you want to try and find it really easily. And the person that ends up killing it, it has quite a bit of health, will get all of their streaks instantly. So if you are playing this mode, make sure you're running those higher end streaks. You just might get a ball turret gunner really easily out of that. And I think this is a pretty cool addition for just sort of a fun on the side featured mode that's themed for an event. I definitely wouldn't want this to be activated in regular modes, but in a playlist of its own, it's a lot of fun. Next up, we have the two brand new guns that have been added, the MG81 LMG as well as the M38 SMG. I've covered the basic stats and my initial impressions and review already in a video yesterday. I'll try to leave that linked in the description below if I remember, so you guys can check that out if you want to see what these guns are like. Also with the update yesterday, we got charms added. These are like weapon accessories from Infinite Warfare, little things that attach to the side of your gun. I know, not historically accurate, and that's going to make some people upset, but overall, I kind of like them. I like the idea of them. I think it's a better customization option than pistol grips, for instance, because you can actually see them. And there's some pretty cool looking ones out there. Of course, if you don't like them, you don't have to use them on your guns, but those were added yesterday. And in addition to that, we have camos now in supply drops. And some of these camos look kind of cool. It really depends on the type of weapon you put it on, though. Once again, it kind of follows suit with all the other camos. If you put it on a heroic variant, then it's really going to stand out and look nice and polished. But if you put it on an epic variant, maybe not so much. This brings us to the next thing that was added in supply drops, and these are reticles. Beforehand, you could only earn reticles through challenges. Now they're actually available in those supply drops. Next up, we have a ton of new heroic variants that have been added for a lot of the guns that only had epic variants. Now they have the heroic counterparts that have been added, like for instance the PPSH Duck Soup 2 or the Grease Gun Candy 2. There's a bunch of these. You can go through the list, have a look for yourself, but a lot of new heroics have been added, and I think this is great, just kind of filling things out a little bit. Another thing I noticed with a lot of these variants, as well as even some of the base guns, is it seems like they added a little bit of a gloss to them. This makes camos look better, especially chrome camo, and even just in general, the guns look a little bit better with that slight shine to them. Also within the menu system, you can now free rotate guns. So before you could kind of rotate a little bit and then they would just snap back. Now you can spin a gun 360 degrees, see all the different angles of it and stuff. And I think this is great, especially for me as a content creator. This makes capturing graphics for thumbnails and things a whole lot easier, so I really like this. Next up, something that might seem really minor and has to do with the menu systems and stuff, but a lot of people are very happy to see this, is finally we can get rid of that stupid green star that's telling us we have something new. For the past, I don't know, like 2 months or so, we haven't been able to get rid of that green star. It was bugged out. You could make sure you hovered over every single calling card and every single thing, and that green star just wouldn't go away. Now you can finally make that go away for those people that absolutely hate seeing that. Moving into the headquarters, we have a brand new look for the headquarters that is St. Patrick's Day themed here. As you can see, very bright, colorful shamrocks everywhere, and it looks like there's probably some sort of an Easter egg that's going on with this, but I'm not super invested in trying to find Easter eggs in headquarters. I'm sure somebody's going to have something posted at some point in the near future here, unless somebody already has solved this. Next up in the headquarters, when you go over to the firing range, you'll see that it's completely changed, and if you throw nades into the tires, it has a completely different explosion, just like we had with the Resistance event, although this one is St. Patrick's Day themed. As for weapon changes, we saw a nerf to the Volkssturmgewehr. I covered all the details in today's earlier video. I will leave that link down below as well. And also something they didn't mention in the patch notes is with the Luftwaffe drilling, you can no longer swap to the rifle bullet while aiming down sight. Before, you could insta-swap over to the rifle bullet really quickly. You can no longer do that with this update. It's a relatively minor change, and a lot of people didn't even realize you could do that in the first place, but I also feel like it was completely unnecessary because it's not like the Luftwaffe drilling is particularly overpowered in this game, at least in my opinion. Another minor thing that changed that does affect gameplay to a small extent is you can no longer shoot care packages out of the sky. So if you call a care package in, you used to be able to shoot the parachute and the care package would fall to the ground faster. Now you can no longer do that. If you shoot that parachute, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to keep floating down to the ground. Moving into the order system with Major Howard, we saw some changes here. First up, the second order that you get for your daily orders, this is the one that awards social score, and it's usually for doing something in the hard point, or it might be for assists or kill confirmed or something like that. But this used to reward only 25 social score for getting it done. Now it rewards 250 social score, so a massive increase to social score here, and this is great to see. It's going to help people with that social score grind quite a bit. In addition to that, at least for this week, we have a weekly order that allows you to unlock a unique weapon variant. This time around, it's the Handler, which is an M1928 variant. And the interesting thing about this is it looks like this is going to be the only way to get that variant. It doesn't even show up in the variant list if you hover over the M1928 unless you have it unlocked. So I think this is pretty cool. If they add a new one every week where it's a completely unique variant that you can't get any other way, I think that would be an awesome way to handle it. I should also mention here, no sign of special orders yet, although they have confirmed that special orders will be coming back, we just don't know when. As for the contract system, they've completely changed up the different contracts that you have to go for. They've increased the amount of armory credits it costs for those contracts, and also they've turned a lot of the rare supply drop rewards into common supply drop rewards. Although I will say that these common supply drops that we have post-patch with all of the supply drop improvements that they've made recently are probably better than the previous rare supply drops that we had because we have fewer duplicates and a better drop rate with these new supply drops. Another thing that's really interesting about the contracts, this is probably what caught most people's eye here, is we're going to have a way to directly earn post-launch guns like the Sten, for instance, by completing a contract. Now, so far, we've only seen one for the Sten, but I imagine they are going to be rotating through with the other guns. And this costs 4,000 armory credits, so it's absolutely not cheap by any means, but at least for this one, it's a relatively easy contract to complete. You only need 15 headshots with an SMG, which in an hour and 25 minutes, I think most people can accomplish with ease. If you are struggling, personally, I recommend the MP40. The MP40, I feel like, is often a headshot machine, so give it a go if you're struggling, and that just might help you out a little. Now, of course, with these contracts and orders, we don't really know exactly how they're going to evolve over the coming days and weeks. We've only seen 2 rotations so far since this update. I did wait to record this section until we got the ones for today. But, of course, things could change here a little bit, and we'll just have to keep an eye out for that one. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for all of the changes and additions I was able to find here for the most recent update, as well as the activation of the Shamrock Awe event. I will leave a link to the patch notes down in the description below. There's a bunch of other things that were kind of fixed behind the scenes, various bug fixes and stuff like that, but not stuff you generally will really notice in-game. And I should also mention here, since we are talking about bug fixes, several bugs have popped up with this update. Hopefully they'll end up getting patched soon. For instance, the bomb has been planted on our ammo supply yelling announcer bug in the war game mode. That is back for some reason. And also people are reporting that the spectator glitch is back, or at least for some people. I have yet to see it or experience it yet, but definitely some people are having some issues with that one. As always, I'd like to know in the comments section below, what do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of all these changes, these additions, just this patch in general? Do you think it was a good patch overall, or the things that you dislike, things that you really like? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.